So we're here talking about the Precision Rifle Series.
Yes, ma'am.
How to get started, how to, I guess we'll talk about gear.
Armageddon gear, probably.
We'll talk a lot about Armageddon too, as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for that plug. When did you start shooting?
2014.
When you started in this series?
Yeah. I was just browsing the internet, and I was just looking for something to do. I always wanted to know how to shoot long range. Didn't really know where to go or what to do or how to go about it, and stumbled across something that was talking about a competition, and I'm like, well, I'm a competitive guy. I want to do something like that. So grabbed a rifle and showed up thinking that I'd be better than I was, and I had to eat that humble pie the first time. But it's good, you know, and that's one of the things I always try to tell people is never be scared to show up. You know, there's nothing wrong with losing. That's what you learn, and that's how you know what to do. And so, you know, don't stay on the sidelines so long that you're afraid to get in. You know, treat it like a swimming pool and just jump in. You know, meet the people, learn some things, try some gear, and I got addicted to it. And then, you know, here I am 4 years later.
4 years later, he won the 2017 Precision Rifle Series, so he is the champion.
Just got lucky.
No, that's pretty big. No, you're really a good shooter. You're really good. I started in 2013, but I didn't know what the heck I was doing and getting into it and everything. And I'm still learning.
Still learning.
I mean, you're always going to learn. I mean, I'm sure there's still some stuff out there you still.
I don't think it ever stops.
It doesn't.
You know, an old saying that we had back in the military was, as soon as you think you know everything, you're irrelevant. So you have to always keep learning and always keep an open mind, and I think that's big. So, and you know, speaking of learning, you seem to teach a lot, right? Bringing new people in. I
try to get out there and teach, bring more women into the sport. When I first started shooting, it was me and a handful, if that, of other women shooting the series. And now, gosh, I was at a match last weekend. I think there was 8 of us, 8 or 9 women shooting. So there's more and more females getting involved, but I look at it this way. I mean, I know it's male dominated, but that rifle doesn't discriminate what's behind it. So that's what I like about the series, is that we are all competing against each other, which is a lot of fun.
I agree. And I think it's growing everywhere. You know, we've got junior shooters coming in. You and Candace are doing really well on bringing the women in. The club series, like, if you really want to get into shooting but you're intimidated by the PRS, find a club.
Yes.
There are clubs everywhere. Core, K&M, Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, Nevada, Phoenix, SoCal, NorCal, Missouri, the Most series.
Yes, that's big.
Jim C and the Border Wars up in the Midwest. I mean, that's going to be a good way to start for sure.
And in the series, so if you're looking to actually, and here's another thing, I'll come back to that point, but the other thing is you don't have to be a member of the Precision Rifle Series in order to shoot a Precision Rifle Series match. I mean, as long as you go online and can get in on the match. I mean, that's what because a lot of the women that I was teaching 2 weeks ago, they were like, well, don't I have to be a member? And I was like, no, anybody can come shoot a PRS match, you know. Anybody can go shoot the one-day matches.
That's right.
So, I mean.
That's right. Yeah, it's good too. If you're nervous, and some people don't want a bad score next to their name.
Yeah.
Well, so don't be a member. Just go shoot.
Yeah.
And if the score is not what you want, so be it. Go work on it. Come back, and when you think that you are in the running to get to the finale, then become a member. But you can still be a part of the community without being a member.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I try to tell that to everybody as well, too.
Yeah, just come out, just shoot. See what it's about. Push yourself, learn something.
And there are 3 different classes in the Precision Rifle Series. You've got production, which is 4,000 MSRP of everything and under.
Yeah.
It's a number. I want to say it's around 4,000. And then you've got your tactical division, which is the 223 and the 308. And then there's the open division.
Yep.
But now it is restricted to a 300 Win Mag and below.
Yep.
So you can't come out with a 50 cal.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever tried that, but
No.
But it's definitely a game. depending on where you're at, what match you're attending. You'll shoot anywhere from 100 yards out to, gosh, I've been to some ranges 1,600 yards. So there's different sizes of targets, it's all different, depending on the match. And there's a lot of really well-run matches all throughout the United States. Good match directors as well, too.
Yeah, good variety of everything.
Gear, my favorite. Let's talk about some gear.
Oh, gear. Let's talk about some gear.
Let's talk about some good gear.
Some good gear.
What do you use, Matt?
So I like to give support to all the companies because we are, even though we're growing and I think we're becoming a really big popular sport, in the general niche of shooting, we're still kind of small. So to help give exposure to everybody, I shoot at least one product from almost everybody when it comes to my gear.
That's why everybody loves you. That's why you're the favorite.
So my number one bag that I'm using right now is the OG Game Changer from Armageddon Gear. And it's a wax canvas material. I just think it's a really grippy, the way it conforms around the barricades, I really love it. The pillow that I carry with me, I know there's some people that love pillows, some people that are against them. I don't think it's something you need every stage, but if you don't bring it with you, you might find yourself wishing one time that you had. So I use the Weebad pump pillow to support short action precision. I run their little 2-round holder on the side, which is pretty important.
Everybody needs that. I run that too.
Some people are like, well, why don't you just put extra rounds in your mag? Well, some matches, that's actually against the rules, and if you get caught with extra rounds, you can get a stage DQ.
Right.
So throw those 2 on the side, they're always there, you're good to go. I'm sure there's something else I'm forgetting, but my bullet binders, those are from Tab Gear. Something from everybody. All these companies support the matches, so I want to help, support them and as well. But, a lot of good products out there. Actually, my new rifle case. I've never been big on rifle cases, but I seem to go to a lot of sandy matches or rainy matches, and so Tom was nice enough to hook me up with a 52-inch rifle case to help keep some stuff out of my gun. So. There's a lot of good gear. Just find what works for you and make it happen.
Right. I know when I first started shooting, my husband Jim was like, use this bag. This is what I use, and it's not a one size fits all for some people. I found that I run with the Game Changer and the large Armageddon Gear fat bag, and I'll interchange those as rear bags too, like for shooting troop lines or something. So I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all when it comes to gear out there, but you've definitely got to get what works for you. I know I can run barricades with that sling. I love when we get to a stage. I think Heat Stroke last year was sling only on a barricade, and I'm like, yeah, I got this. And I love it too, so I train a lot with the sling.
I don't quite have that reaction. I can use the sling, but I don't think I ever get that excited for it.
I do. I get real excited on the stages.
But that was a good stage. It is a sling's a good piece of gear to have in the bag.
It is.
But like you said, there's no one size fits all. Don't ever think that one piece of gear is going to solve all your problems.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Don't be afraid to experiment. Try, borrow stuff. Like, if you see me at a match, borrow my gear. You see Missy at a match, borrow her gear.
We are, and I tell you what, that is the one thing I think I fell in love with. I know a lot of women, they've asked me, it's a little intimidating coming to the matches, but once you come, everybody's so friendly, and it's a very, very welcoming community, the long range is.
Oh, yeah.
And like you just said, everybody's willing to, here, try this bag, see if this works for you. And I think that helps new shooters as well when they are getting into the sport, seeing what actually, that they actually need to spend money on.
Yep.
It's definitely not a cheap sport by any means,
but no, it's not.
Like I said, it's very welcoming with everybody.
It is very welcoming. And we're starting to see some people come from different disciplines to try it out as well.
Yeah.
Like there's this guy, Eric Cortina, right? I think he shoots F-class a lot.
I've heard the Eric Cortina.
Yeah,
I've heard about him.
He's shot PRS lately, and he did pretty well.
Really?
He came out and shot the Lone Survivor with me.
Oh, cool.
Top 20. So it's good to see the skills transfer across the board.
Yeah.
Makes me want to try F class a little bit, but I don't know if I can sit still that long. But maybe I'll give it a shot.
I know one of the biggest questions, one of the other big questions I get is, I know in 3-gun, it's how fast you run through a stage. The precision rifle series isn't like that. They'll give you a time frame, 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and it's how many hits you can get within that time frame. So you don't want to rush through a stage, which I made that mistake when I first started. I was thinking, oh my God, I got to beat the clock, and I'm like running that little bolt as hard as I can, and you don't do that.
You can never miss fast enough.
That's right.
Yeah.
I made a lot of mistakes. Let me tell you about them. Don't do that. That's one of them. But take your time. That's what I calm down and run smooth. And because I mean, when you're shooting precision rifle, especially out of distance, I mean, you've got to watch everything going on around you and at the target, and which way's that wind blowing. And
time management is key.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't ever like to tell someone to intentionally miss a shot or skip a shot or whatever, but a lot of guys that come up to me after I've run a certain barricade and they're like, you know, wow, how do you do that so smooth? And I'm like, well, to go into it, right? Say it's a 90-second stage, and so you've got 2 shots per 4 positions for 8 shots.
Yeah.
Well, so you want to kind of take that 90 and divide it by 4. And give yourself, okay, that's my allotted time for each one. But now I need to subtract a couple seconds from each for my transitions.
Right.
So as long as you tell yourself, hey, I've only got 12 seconds to make this happen, well, so now you can kind of precondition yourself into that and start breaking it down, and you'll kind of take away a little bit of that stress, realizing how to manage your time. Besides the PRS barricade, you should never ever rush anything. If you've got 90 seconds, use 85.
Yeah.
Get those hits. Settle into a good position. Now, the only caveat to that is you don't want to get so comfortable that you burn all your time on that one. So you need to learn a level of acceptability or acceptable accuracy that you're looking for there, and how to manage all that. But definitely don't rush. And it's better to go 6 for 6 than not take 2 shots than it is to shoot so fast that you only get 3 or 4.
Right.
Well, you would have got more actually if you slowed down. So that's a big thing is learning how to pace that out.
Yeah. You got any questions?
Course of fire. What would be a typical course of fire?
Gosh, it really depends on the match and the match director. I mean, I know down in Florida, about 80% of it you're going to be in positional. Was it heat stroke? Some of the more west.
There's 2 general categories that people throw out. They call them either field matches or like a square range match. And neither one of them really truly falls into that general category they're thrown into. They both offer a mix. But if you go to a place that is on a smaller piece of property, then you could probably expect to shoot more barricades, right? Because they've got to find a way to make up for the terrain they don't have. So you'll shoot off of some barricades, whether they're man-made or realistic props, like off of a truck or a Jersey barrier, or connexes that have windows cut into them and stuff like that. And you get out to places that have land, and now you get to shoot this beautiful long-range terrain over rolling hills, and they don't need all that stuff. So it's a little bit different, but they always have a mix. You're going to shoot prone at a square bay match, and there's going to be a barricade at a field match. Just the percentages of each might change a little bit, but it's just getting up, moving, learning how to problem solve. Right. Another thing I tell people is, I don't care what obstacle's in front of you, just tell yourself it's a barricade. I don't care if it's a tire, a Jersey barrier, a truck, or whatever. Once you learn how to tackle an obstacle based on its height, whether it's kneeling, bending, whatever, they all become the same. And that's a way to zone out and take the stress off of it.
That's a great idea. I'm going to use that. I'm stealing some of your ideas.
Dang it. I gotta watch who I tell.
What else have you got over there, Mr. Brousseau?
I don't know. But yeah, so,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to go any more in on the course of fire, but it's just a pretty good mix of how to shoot different targets at long range in multiple positions.
What about cartridge selection?
Cartridge? Well, I would say anything Lapua based. I started with a 647 and now I'm on the Dasher. But I don't know if there's a true wrong answer. I would just say don't try to get a case just because you can push it faster than anything else. That's not the answer. Yeah. Find something that's going to shoot the way you shoot. You know, I'm a smaller guy, so I have to shoot a smaller caliber. I don't have the weight to put behind that gun. A bigger guy could get away with shooting a bigger caliber better than I can. Part of that problem solving we talked about is recoil management, being able to spot your shots or your misses. Your follow through. So for me, that's a smaller caliber. So that's why I shoot the Dasher with the 105 hybrids. But the general advice I would give you is if you're a newer shooter, get something that's going to have a longer barrel life. That way you can really learn and master that rifle before you have to rebarrel it. When you really start getting in and wanting to be overly competitive and you want to have a little bit of a hot rod, then go for it. But speed won't make up for consistency and it won't call your wind. So I always say consistency is better than that, but
that's some good solid advice too.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy, whatever helps put the round on target.
Right.
Is what you're going to want.
And you're going to see a lot of different calibers out there. I mean, personally, I shoot the 6 Creedmoor, and I also use the Berger 105 grain hybrids. But now you're going to see, gosh, I've seen, well, there's a lot of 308s and 223s out there. But I want to say 6.5 and 6 are probably the most common.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got the Dashers and...
I mean, I don't even know if we could name them all. Right?
No.
I mean, BR, BRA, BRX, Dasher.
XSC.
XC, 47,
right.
Creedmoors.
Yeah, there's so many out there.
There's a bunch. And they're all so close.
Right.
In performance.
Exactly. But I think, like you just said, I mean, it's being able to see that follow through because that is paramount when you're out there shooting, especially at distance. I mean, you got to watch where that bullet goes.
Yeah, so. Exactly. You know, even if you hit the target, if you just barely hit the right edge and you're not picking up that wind is coming on, your next one's going to be in the dirt. So being able to stay on target and say, ooh, I should probably come left a little bit there or right or whatever, that's going to help ensure that follow on. And that's where recoil management and follow through really come into play. So.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I had a class 2 weekends ago here in Texas, and one of the ladies asked me, she's like, is there a certain part of the target you have to hit for it to count? And it's like, no, you hit anywhere on that steel, just get it hit, you know? And there's a lot of good at distance target indicators. I know Magneto Speed makes a really nice one that it helps, like I said, out at distance. Because sometimes those smaller calibers are hard to see, like the 223s at distance. And I mean, those target indicators, you know, they flash. And I don't know about you, but hearing that ting at distance and seeing the flasher go off, there's just something inside you. You're just, I gotta have more of that. Yeah. It's a good addictive game.
A little mini celebration every time.
That's right.
You pull the trigger, you wait your 3 seconds, and then you get that, okay, we're good.
It feels good. Yeah. So, do y'all have any questions or anything? We're talking about the Precision Rifle Series.
Well, I know they're proponents of the BRA that we talked about. So.
So what you want to
I'll
just
hit that in a minute.
Yeah.
So you want to maybe just give them an invite to new shooters to come out and shoot, and then we can shut it down.
Yeah. Always. I mean, like she said, once you get into the community, it is extremely welcoming. You know, don't listen to rumors, don't listen to the internet, don't listen to any outside perspectives. Just come see it. Come experience it and see what you can learn. And I guarantee you, you're going to meet people that you like. You're going to make friends, and you're going to have a good time. As far as for that question right there, I was just asked how many barrels I go through a year. Now that I'm on the Dasher, it's less than when I was on the 647. like I said, I chose consistency over speed. You know, when I was shooting the 647, I was running it at 3100, and you know, you could also slow a 647 down. Like my buddy runs his Creedmoor at 2950, so he gets the same barrel life I do with the Dasher. I like to run the Dasher. It's just really small, efficient. Recoil's good for me. But even with the Dasher, last year, I think I went through 5 barrels. So a little more than some other people probably. This year I'm a little slower. I'm not shooting as much this year, but
practicing caliber you shoot matches.
I highly recommend that, unless you're having a specific issue with recoil.
What is it that you highly recommend? See, I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. So he asked, do you recommend practicing with the same caliber you shoot in matches? I recommend that for sure. It's all about learning your data, mastering your data, and applying your data. So unless you are struggling with recoil, then I would say, okay, you shoot a 6.5 Creedmoor, but you're having trouble on barricades.
Right.
Get you a 308 and start taming that horse so that when you get on the Creedmoor, it's a little easier.
Yeah.
But if you're not having that problem, you're just having a problem of applying the fundamentals, making your wind calls, spotting your misses, follow-ups, then I would 100% say same gun or at least 2 identical guns. You're going to go out there and practice with it, and you're going to master your data. That helped me a lot last year. I had, I think I had an SLR, a 47, a Dasher, and something else, and I had all these numbers in my head. And as soon as I dropped to just one, you know, I already know, okay, it's a 10-mile-an-hour wind, and that target's at 500, so you know it's probably going to be 2.4 elevation and you know 0.6 or 7 off the left or something. And so it really starts to bring you in, and you start to learn it, and you're less reliant on the technology, so that if there is a change, you're faster to adapt to it. So yeah, I definitely would.
I personally shoot a 6 Creedmoor, so to save my barrel life, I use a 223, but now it's built exactly same specs, manner stock, same exact scope and everything. But I try to practice more of the positional side of everything. I've got maybe 300 yards at the back of my house that I'll just get my old 223 out. But now if I'm going longer distances, I'll go ahead and bring my 6 out. But weight-wise and everything, like I said, the 2 rifles are exactly the same. It's just the caliber for that.
You're practicing, your wind calls and stuff, I guess, that's not really what you're practicing. You're practicing just position and stuff.
At this point, I'm really practicing a lot of positional.
Okay. So
just
like you get a big point with
right.
data points.
Yeah. Now for her purpose, I know a lot of guys have a 223 trainer, and that's fine. If you're shooting 300 and in, and your sole purpose is muscle memory, well then save your money, get to a 223, build that positional, memory to where you know, hey, the barricade's this tall, I'm going to drop in this time every time. Boom, 223. But if you want to
go further, then go definitely.
Then I would get your match rig out. Depends where you're at. I think you can get to a certain level to where it's not going to be as effective. But if you're still trying to learn those fundamentals and that barricade shooting or whatever, dry firing in your garage or wherever,
in your house,
that's going to help build that. But I think once you get to a certain point to where those are no longer your issues, it's wind and stuff like that, I don't really see much more of a gain from it. So I think you can max that out on dry firing. So, but that's just my opinion, though. Other people have different opinions on it.
Oh, you're going to find 501 opinions.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will see this video and say I'm wrong. So
there's going to be a troll out there somewhere. But at distance, I've gotten where in the past 2 years, I've really, if you don't have that vegetation out at that target, I read the Mirage a lot. So it's gotten to be a really good tool or a good thing to learn, is to see that Mirage, at distance. So I know we've shot many matches where there's nothing around, and you know, you don't have a wind indicator other than aim center and see where it goes. But I kind of like to make a more educated guess, you know, when you instead of wasting a round down. But
yeah, the Kestrel is a great piece of gear.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I definitely recommend everyone get one. It's
life support, basically.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Missy said, sometimes there's no grass or weeds or anything to read, and so you're looking for Mirage. Well, what if it's cloudy or rainy and there's no Mirage?
Yeah.
Well, you go with what the Kestrel says and take it from there. So,
yeah.
So what was the coldest match you shot this year?
This year? I don't know.
Did you shoot Alabama?
I did not.
It was in the 30s and rain. That one. It was
Lone Survivor was yeah. I think I had repressed what day one was like, but yeah, day one was miserable. Now that I think about it, yeah, it's never fun to shoot when you're shivering that much, because you basically, when you get on target, you're holding a minute of shiver. But it was cold and windy. It was something.
The finale was cold last year in December. I know we had 31-degree mornings out there.
Yeah, I did not want to get out of bed. Often thought about just staying in the camper.
A lot of hot hands going on out there.
Yes. Yeah. I think I went through 8 hand warmers a day.
Yeah.
A lot of guys,
Yeah.
It's true. It is a mental game.
It's very mental.
Once you have rifles capable of what we all have rifles doing, it transitions upstairs. You know, this is where it's at. Being able to think on the fly and problem solve, and look for the signs that Missy's talking about, and remembering that, how to get into those positions and not worrying about that miss and moving on. And you factor in extreme heat, extreme cold, and you really see who brought their A game and who didn't, because they kind of take off. So it's big. Being mentally prepared for whatever the match has to offer.
Yeah.
And Mother Nature.
Yeah, the middle game of it, though. I mean, sometimes I still struggle with that. I mean, I shot Alabama last weekend, killing it the first morning. Got on a stage that it kind of killed me, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, I thought this was the match, and I let that bother me the rest of the day. And it's like when you get frustrated, when you get angry, and when you're still hanging on to that stage that you let get the best of you. I mean, I don't shoot good when I'm frustrated and angry, and I think part of that is just letting it go,
Big time.
But
let it go. Sing that little.
I thought you were about to go into the Frozen song.
No. It's good advice, but I'm not singing it.
Okay. I'm going to talk about movers, because I love movers, and I can shoot those without I don't really think about it. And you've shot your 10, you've cleaned. Movers are my favorite out there. But someone has asked me before, like, you always do so well on movers, and it's like, I don't really think about it. I think, you get to a point where it's all just muscle memory. But when you get in, like, I'll be looking at some of the targets out at distance, and I do that. Man, I'll be like, whack, 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 hit. And then I get to thinking, like, oh God, I better clean it. Boom! Oh, it went off right edge. What the heck, So I've been victim of that. But for me, it's if I don't really think. I think that I don't know how to explain it. You're probably all gonna think I'm a retard now, but that's kind of.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah. How do you do it, Matt?
I'm a big fan of on the movers. Once I start getting impacts, I think I'm better than I am, and I go faster than I should, and I burn one.
Yeah.
And so that's always my reality check. Is like, okay, slow it down. And this is what you're talking about right there. Is I'm running that mover. I think I'm doing good. I get a little too excited, and I miss one. So take that, bring it over to other stages to where I'm running out. So what I have learned and since kind of told myself is, like you said, I just kind of blank out. I go into every stage, and this was a piece of advice that a guy gave me when I was starting and I wasn't cleaning stages. He said, every stage, right before it starts, you should be sitting there and be like, all right, my gun's good, I'm going to clean it. My gun's good, I'm going to clean
Confidence.
it. And you throw that into your subconscious, and then you get up there. And so I'm expecting to hit those targets. I'm not hoping to hit them, I'm expecting to hit them. And by not focusing on it too much or worrying about if I miss, it's now made it easier to hit them because I'm not worried about it. I don't stress, oh, I need to clean this or that. You know, you just get up there and shoot. And if at any time you feel that heart rate pulse and you start to put a little bit too much strain on yourself for those last couple of targets, you just need to come off that gun, take a deep breath, get back on there and keep hitting it. You know, do what you did the first 5 shots, and that's not worry about it. Just hit them. And once you start hitting them and cleaning them, it's just going to keep coming. You just got to learn how to get rid of the pressure. So.
And I think that affects everybody, from new shooters even to seasoned shooters. I mean, everybody still.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody struggles with that.
Yeah. So the finale last year, I was one of the last squads to finish, and some of the guys had already walked by, and so I knew what Shannon Kay's score was. I knew what Brian Allen's score was, Bradley's score, Jerry Karloff, and pretty much everybody in the top 10.
Missy's score? No, just joking.
And so going into my last stage, I knew to get the golden bullet, I needed to hit 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I had a little bit of that, oh crap. Now all of a sudden there's pressure that I haven't had all weekend. Yeah. And so I sat there and I said, hey, it's just another stage. You've already shot 26 of them. Just shoot the stage. And so I calmed myself down and I got on there and I hit my first 6. And then when I got to the next position, it kind of creeped back in, like, okay, you're 2 shots away, don't blow it. Yeah. And I just took a deep breath and I'm like, my gun's good, I'm good. Boom, got it, and just sailed on through. And that was kind of cool to know that as soon as that stage was over, I think Robert Badgett and another guy were ROing that stage. And so when I hit my 10th shot, I dropped the mag and just took a step back and just had this giant sigh of relief. And he's like, what's up, man? Like, you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm good, man. I just got the golden bullet.
You just won the series.
And it's all about learning how to take that pressure off of yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And usually you're just a deep breath away from a few more impacts.
Yeah.
So
that's good advice.
And like I said earlier, it's better to go 6 for 6
That's true.
than to go 4 for 8.
It's better. Yep.
You can't miss fast enough. Slow it down and hit them.
Slow than 4 for 8 fast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Yeah, you got to slow down and take a look, you know. And if you missed, don't just get frustrated you missed and send another one. Stop, focus, breathe. Where did I miss?
Yeah.
How do I not do that again? And get out there and then do better than, you'll probably do better than you thought just by getting out of your head. So
Pep talk. I do that a lot. I'm like, calm down.
Yep.
Go
Yep.
slow.
Exactly.
Go slow.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks a lot, guys.
All right, thanks.